Hey, Jim here. Welcome to the third part of the reflections of my 2022, where I try to go through everything I achieved this year and expand on it and see if I can give you something that is actionable, that can help your life. Or at least my experience probably will be able something that you can relate to. So let's continue this. If you haven't watched previous videos, first one I talked about just my goals of this year and how I managed to achieve them or make progress in them or just reframe them. Second video I talked about just general really important changes in my life, like me moving countries and starting coaching and finishing my 365 project and all of that. So watch that if you want to. This part I will start from topic of my interest, really that topic that really interests me. My self-improvement started from that, and for 4 years it was the thing that pushed me forward always, and the thing that pushed me forward this year also. The topic of dating and sex. It is something that I wasn't comfortable with for a long time, and it will be a challenge to talk about this now openly. I didn't think I did that before, especially on camera, and especially only starting and without much experience. So we'll see how shy I would be in this, but yeah, let's start. Uh, so it the sixth point. It's not the sixth. I fucked it up, aren't I? Okay, doesn't matter. Um, Let it be the sixth point. In overall, I went on about 30, 40 dates and I met many great girls there. That is just self-explanatory, I guess. I just wanted to give myself credit for going out there, for trying a lot of stuff, and just trying to get that experience, even just dating experience, even just talking experience on dates. It was just something to congratulate myself on. I think the experience on dates, even if there is a final goal of getting laid, of having sex, and all of that, dates are cool. Yeah, that is a strange sentence, but yeah, dates give you different experience. It's more applicable to just everyday life, I guess, because there are what are dates? You're basically meeting this person for the first or like not for you this person it's basically unknown to you, and you're practicing some skills to get to know them, to have some connection, to see if you're on the same side, if you want the same things. So that is such a unique skills that it's okay, it's not a unique skill, it's a unique in they doesn't matter. It's a skill that helps in all the areas of life, I would say. It's just a normal human to human conversation. That is the basis of all of us. So going on dates, going on more dates, I would always consider that as an awesome experience. There may be a point later when I will just know too much about it that it won't give me much experience anymore. And then I will just try to optimize it, I guess. But for now, I haven't been on this huge amount of dates. So it's still every time I meet with some new girl on date, it always gives me something. It always improves me in some way. That's why I put this point here. The next thing, I had sex or sexual stuff with 9 new girls, and I learned something great from every one of them. That was partly my goal of the year. I ambitiously set myself a goal of 30 new girls, but that was, yeah, the priorities definitely changed this year. So why is it's still a big amount of big number, and I would my 5 year uh, five myself from 5 years ago would have looked at this number and said, what the fuck, dude? How could you have 9 girls in a year? Yeah, and that's not for the number itself. I try to build connection, I try to build something, I try to get some unique experience, to learn people, to just be a better person out of each of these dates, out of each of these girls that I have sex with. And it works greatly. I think that for a man specifically, it gives so much that it is really important. Just any new person can give some, staying with one person for a while can give unique experiences, and a different person can give unique experiences. Like from every one of them, from every of these 9 girls, I found something really important for myself, for my development. They just reflect, every person is different, and they reflect different things back to me. And that is really important. Is as is with dates, as every person is really different, they reflect different things for me. But when we go into the sexual stuff, it is even more important. It is even more valuable because it's so much more important. It's much more vulnerable. It's much more important. It's more intimate. That's what I wanted to say. Yeah, that I want to congratulate myself a lot. The next point, eighth point, is I started approach anxiety program from Good Looking Loser. I made it to day 9 out of 40 something, and I became able to actually approach girls. So that is the approach anxiety. Like Good Looking Loser is another forum that it's kind of old now, and the forums are not existing anymore, but the site, the blog itself, has a lot of helpful advice, but it mostly on just it's aimed specifically at guys, and it is about getting laid and becoming a better man and all, but with more honesty. Okay, it's not about honesty, it's about integrity, I guess, just going after what you want. There's a lot of helpful stuff there. I don't agree with everything that is there, but there's a lot of stuff. So he had an approach anxiety program. When you start just asking a woman for a time and then gradually improving. Then you ask for directions, then you ask about some cafes nearby or what do they think about them, and so on and on and on. Then you get at the middle of it, I guess you start to do some strange stuff, like really cringy, awkward stuff. And that pushes you to just accept that life can be uncomfortable sometimes, and it's okay. So I made it to day 9. It is kind of a baby numbers. It's still just a normal conversation with a hint of awkwardness. So it's mostly about asking for directions, asking about what they think about specific place or something. And I had a lot of struggles with it. I was doing it back in Armenia. That was that was really hard for me because of the traditional atmosphere there and just like I had a lot of excuses there, but I still did it too. I did still made it to day 9, and that was actually enough to push me. Like I was already approaching girls, women, and just asking for the time or asking for directions. Basically, I was starting talking to them, and I wasn't as much intimidated by how they. I always perceived girls until this moment as better than I. So that was why I was intimidated to talk to them, because I thought, why would they talk back? And then I just saw that most of them I just were okay with talking to me, and nothing bad really happened. And that was enough to push me to one day just approach some girl and say that you're cute and just run away. That was my first one, I think. And in the next or after the next day, I was able to expand on it, like repeat just compliments and expand on it with, hey, you cute. I don't know what I'm talking about, but I want, like, do you want to have coffee sometime or something like that? And that was really important for me, and I had actually success from it. I went on a date with that girl. We didn't click too much, but yeah, I went on a date with 2 girls from my first approaches. And that basically what started it for me. This approach anxiety program became kind of redundant. I talked about this in the first video. And yeah, I'm not sure I will continue that. It still has a lot of value if you continue it up to, if you continue it till the end. I think it gives enough social freedom to just talk to anyone and be awkward, be okay with being awkward. But it's not my priority right now, but I just starting it. It was one of my year's goals again, and starting and making it to the until I could actually use it to talk to unknown girls. That was amazing. Next point, ninth point, is I had huge success with approaching and talking to girls. So yeah, that expands on previous one. Um, Ultimately, I approached and talked with about 400 girls this year. I learned to do it in different places, so at the gym, in the grocery stores, somewhere at the bars till the end of this year. I guess it's not just approaching and talking, it's kind of expected in bars, but it was much harder for me. So yeah, just I'm still not good at it, but at least I can do that from time to time, and I actually gained the skill of being able to do that in my everyday life. Just not even at the start, I had to push myself really hard. I had to be mentally prepared to go out with the intention of talking to some girls, because that took so much mental energy out of me. Now it is still kind of like that, but from time to time, I just may go on my everyday activities, going to the gym, going to some stores or something like that, and I will see some girl that I really like and I can talk to her just like that at this moment. It doesn't happen too often, but it happens sometimes. And that's why I consider this part kind of a baseline level that I can use it in everyday life. Just from time to time it comes up. Before I couldn't imagine myself doing that. Before this year even, that it would become so easy sometimes. And I still worry a lot, but I can still do that. Yeah, that is huge. That just starting approaching, and this was actually my goal of that started my self-improvement. I started it from the intention that I want to. I had no dating experience at all after my first relationship, and I went out trying to get it. And I couldn't talk to anyone, but I always wanted to. And I was quitting and going back and quitting for 4 years. And now I finally handled it this year. This was huge. This was one of the best things that happened to me in this year, that I made happen this year. So that I'm just glad that it happened. That I I got it to the baseline level. Okay, I'll stop talking about that now. Yeah, the next point, expanding on it from the approaches, I had about 10 dates in total, and sex or sexual stuff with 3 girls. And with one of them, I created a really great connection. We clicked a lot, and we're still best friends now. We have a lot of trust towards each other. That is an additional point here because it gives me proof that just approaching girls on the street can be awesome. Like it can be fun by itself. I haven't learned to make it fun just yet. Uh, it's usually a lot of awkwardness and uncomfortable feelings for me, but just seeing that I went on dates and I had really good intimacy with some of the girls that I meet just on the street, just from talking to them, is is an amazing, is an amazing thing. I don't think I could say too much about that. Also, it just seeing that there can be, you can find one of the best girls I ever met in my entire life just from talking randomly to someone, uh, and just have a lot of great stuff. It just adds to the point that all of this life, and especially dating and especially meeting the opposite sex, is the numbers game. You need to go through a lot of people just to find someone that will click. I had to go through 400 to find 3 that clicked with me, and only one that uh, clicked with me a lot and stayed in one way or another. And yeah, that just shows that even if it's hard, it's still possible. And that means I will never be fully alone. Not like I can always go and approach 400, 500,000 girls and find one of them that will be, at least one of them that will be really a good addition to my life. That is just the abundance mentality, I guess. It was it was a good proof. That's why made it additional point. So moving on, 11th point is I learned to be better at dates. That was okay. That was a really important thing for me from just going on this amount of dates this year. I went on more dates this year than I ever did in my entire life. And just, yeah, it improves every aspect of life, and specifically being on dates more, being more comfortable with them, starting to finally have fun and not consider it a chore. There was a point at the start when every date was making me so nervous that I almost wished for girls to cancel on me. And I was miserable afterwards, but that's a different point. It was so hard to experience this nervousness, this anxiety, and now it's okay. Like I'm looking forward to dates. I'm looking forward to meeting new girls and finding what's in their life and sharing experiences and all. Not all of dates are good, but some of them are amazing, and it's entirely worth it. So I got a lot of good progress with being on the same team with the girls that I meet there. So that means me honestly saying about what I want, or even that I'm nervous, and not trying to get something out of her, but trying to just be there with her and see what we want from each other, what we want our life to be with each other in it, or if we don't, if we won't click at all. So not considering her like the person that I need to convince, but just seeing what she's about and what I'm about and where we could meet in the middle. Um, I stopped to be afraid of rejections, problems, and doubts that arise on these dates. Yeah, I that's the previous point. Like I'm aiming to find solutions together, not just sometimes it still happens that I get into my own stories in my head and think that, oh, that was a rejection, that was me being bad or something like that. But it happens less and less, and it's more of a notion of, oh, why do you think like that? What caused this? And that everything is okay, and what can we do about this now? Even if it's just end the date and say goodbyes to each other. I learned, like, I'm much more calm on dates, and it just comes from experience. It's not something I could have learned beforehand. It's only makes itself better after I get some experience out of it. I learned to ask girls to my place, and I learned going for a kiss on date or after. So that's about integrity, about honestly stating what I want. And if we're not on the same page, if we're not looking for same things, that's okay. Um, it's still awkward. I still haven't learned to handle after that fully, but I got much better at it. And just the point of me stating my intentions clearly, what I wanted, it's what I wanted for years, and definitely for the previous year, and that I accomplished it this year. It's amazing. Okay, next point, 12th, is I changed my approach to Tinder and started liking it. Yeah, I hate Tinder at the start of this year. I was just so frustrated by girls unmatching, replying with one word answers, or getting my phone number and then just ghosting me. Uh, I had not much experience from it. I had not much success from it, and that's why it was like I didn't have a lot of dating experience, so I was really invested in every one of them, and I was taking it really close, every rejection. But that I got better at it. Definitely now it's if someone rejects me or ignores me or unmatches with me, it's okay. I even welcome it because we're looking for different things clearly. It's like much less drama now, and I like it that way. I overhauled my profile many times and got it to a good point there. That was huge. Like I was taking different photos, I trying different things, and I finally, a couple of months ago, found something that really works for me. I just started writing, sending messages with everything I'm looking for, honestly, at the start, and I started getting good responses. I started meeting girls that said like, "Oh, that's cool that you say all of it honestly, and that is refreshing." But I'm just not looking for these things. And then I could even talk about that. Like it's never something that I would have allowed myself before. I thought, oh, I would be wasting time. This girl already doesn't want to sleep with me. I will unmatch her. Like she's not the one for me. But now uh, I'm even interested in what they think about it. So I'll probably just ask for their perspective, so I can use that for my own self improvement, for me understanding their side better. And that's not to say to take their advice on it, because I had really controversial advice from girls that replied to me, but it still makes you see the point of what they are looking for. Um, yeah, so overhaul of the profile, um, good replies. Yeah, like I went a long way with Tinder this year, and it got me great results. It started getting me great results now, and I started liking to like I went from hating Tinder to actually liking to go on there with the intention of, oh, I'm gonna meet some girls that I probably will like, and I'm really excited for it now. Um, Next one is I learned my standards in dating, what my standards in dating are, and to actually listen to myself about them. Yeah, just what why I aimed for the amount of girls I meet, for amount of girls I had sex with. It's all about getting to know myself better. Like the half of it at least. Half of it is just getting good experience, and half of it is knowing myself better, knowing what I like, what I dislike. And so now I can see better, I can see faster, quicker, what I like and what I cannot put up with, for example, and what where we can add to each other life, and if we can do that at all. That is a great point for me. Um, yeah, I'm now screening for girls that I like, and that, yeah, if I see the girl that ticks a lot of boxes that I'm looking for, I'm starting to invest more into her. So I'm starting to give her more. And it may not be reciprocated, and that's okay. Like I just love that I see something that I really like and can give a lot of value to that girl. So that is the topic. I didn't think that would happen with my experience, but it happened. I started giving more. Um, the point number 14 is I learned to not force myself into going further with girls that I don't really like. That was the thing at the start of this year when I forced myself into going all the way, going sexual with girls that I didn't like at all. And I did that alone a lot previous year. And yeah, I learned from that. I won't I was really feeling bad about myself afterwards that I allowed myself to do that. I didn't about me having no standards and all, and I really learned from that. I now have standards. I now know that I can just back away. I have my own choice. Either I want to see her again, or I ever want to go on a date with her, or like I started just allowing myself not to go for experience, because at the start my phrase was I need experience, and I got relaxed about it. I look for more good experience for myself, not any experience. That is a huge tipping point for me. Next one is I started opening up about sexual or dating topics to people more, and that counters my sexual shame, shyness, and being reserved. That's what I'm doing right now. That's what I was doing on the meetups and on dates more, just talking about bringing up some sexual topics or at least dating topics and talking about that. It was something that I want to, that as I mentioned, I had a lot of sexual shame for all of these years, and that is a great progress on the way of overcoming it and being relaxed about talking about sexual and dating stuff, just about any other topic in life. That's what I want to go to get good at. And the last topic in dating sex category is I became much comfortable in sex itself. I learned to be more relaxed, to have less performance anxiety and pressure on me. That was huge at the start of this year, and the last one, I thought I had to, like, I had so much performance anxiety that I almost wished that I didn't have sex with girls. I couldn't enjoy half of the times I did that, just because I was worried I was doing a bad job at it. And I became much more relaxed. I guess that comes from experience or knowing myself better, or just having other things to offer, like just being around. There's a lot of stuff that goes there, but the result is I became much less stressed about it. I learned what I like and don't like in sex. Yes, that came from experience also. I tried light BDSM, I tried Shibari, and I started using toys. That was huge also. Just having fun from sex, not having sex for the sake of getting laid. But even Shibari, I was always averse to it. I thought that it would distract me from actual sex, but this year I allowed myself to do that because it's just a fun thing to do. It's just another interaction, sexual interaction, but still, it is a good progress here. I'm much more open in sex now. I was pretty open before too, but now it's not more about sex, it's about sharing and experience and intimacy and just all of this stuff. It's not about just the act of sex itself. So I tried different formats and dynamics, from gentle to timid, from gentle and timid to passionate and rough. Yes, that was something that came from experience. Also, yeah, just trying different things and seeing what I like. I still think like I couldn't even say what I like more. I would say that I like gentle more, but it's passionate can be fun also. It's about listening to myself in a moment and just going for something that I want at this moment. Yeah. So I talked for a long time about this, right? Fuck's sake, like 10 points got to 30 minutes. Like it definitely will be like 6 or 7 part series. I have a lot to say about all of this. Yeah, that's it for dating and sex category, and overall, I'm really happy with my progress here. It was the thing, as I said before, that started my self-improvement journey, and to have so much progress here this year, it relaxes me now. I don't focus that much about on dating anymore. It is going more into the background for me, and I can focus on other things in my life, on mental stuff, on business, or just having fun with people and giving myself to people too. I needed to have it handled. It's I still want to have it handled more at some point after a couple of years. But for now I'm relaxed about it. I'm much more at peace about the dating stuff and sex stuff. Yeah, continue we'll continue having progress there, but I'm okay with it now. So that's it for this part. We will continue on to the mindset and blog and coaching and all of this interesting stuff in the next ones. There's a lot more points to cover. There's like 50 another points to cover. Oh shit. Yeah, I'm glad if you listen to it, I'm glad that you did. I hope you have something to relate from all of this, and yeah, just focus on something. Have less shame about what you want to focus on. Just focus on it fully and it will become better. That I learned. Okay, have a good day, folks. Team out.